Welcome to the Fear and Greed Afternoon Report for Tuesday the 31st of May 2022. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon we bring you the 5 news items that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, the S&P ASX 200 finished down 1% today, giving back much of the gains of yesterday. Financials and technology stocks were among the worst, with telcos also sold off. But it was a pretty broad-based sell-off, with all 11 sub-indices falling. The banks led the falls, with ANZ down more than 2%, and Commonwealth Bank, National Australia Bank and Westpac were all off around 1.5%. James Hardie Industries tumbled 4%, while Xero fell 3%. Among the large caps, South32 was the standout, jumping 2.25%. Fortescue Metals and Rio Tinto both did well on the back of higher iron ore prices. The worst on the day was bank and insurance group Suncorp. It closed down 6%, while Tyro Payments and EML Payments, also in the financial sector, both ended down more than 5%. Best on the day were oil and gas group Beach Energy, Whitehaven Coal and healthcare company Fisher & Paykel, all ended more than 3% higher. Story number 2, there was a fair bit of economic news around today. Building approvals fell by more than expected, down 2.4% in April, while private sector credit was higher than forecast. But the big surprise was the reduction in the size of the current account surplus. Economists expected a $12 to $13 billion surplus, but it came in at $7.5 billion, according to the Bureau of Statistics. It was the lowest since late 2019 and reflected a surge in imports, including a big jump in demand for COVID-19 tests. There you go. Having said that, Australia has now recorded 3 years or 12 quarters of surpluses. That's the longest run since the 1970s. The March quarter national accounts figures are due for release tomorrow. Story number 3, the Financial Review is holding its annual banking summit. The boss of the Australian Prudential Regulation Authority, Wayne Byres, told the conference that the economy is entering a very different environment than much of the past decade. He said faster than expected inflation and interest rates will hit mortgage borrowers and there'll be pockets of stress. He also said APRA is monitoring the potential repayment shock that will occur when fixed-rate borrowers roll off to higher variable rate loans. Overall, though, he seems pretty comfortable with the state of the home lending market. Story number 4, the Aussie dollar pushed back above 72 US cents today, with Commonwealth Bank expecting it to head towards 76 US cents by the end of the month. It's now more than 4 cents above its May low. It was last in the 76 US cent range in early April. The reason for the rise are forecasts of higher commodity prices. Now, those forecasts gained some support today when China announced less than 100 new COVID cases. Beijing also announced an easing of restrictions, with manufacturers in Shanghai allowed to resume production from tomorrow. The city also has a 50-point plan to revitalise the economy. All that is good news for Australia. In response, nickel led a rally in base metals, rising by 8%. Iron ore futures also jumped. And finally, story number 5, European Union officials have agreed to pursue a partial ban on Russian oil. It's the 6th package of sanctions against Russia since it invaded Ukraine. The sanctions won't allow the delivery of oil and petroleum products from Russia to member states by sea, but there is a temporary exemption for pipeline crude. It means about 2/3 of Russian oil will be banned, which will be costly to Moscow. Why do we care about all this? Well, the decision sent oil prices higher, with Brent crude pushing towards $124 a barrel. And that means petrol prices in Australia are going to stay high for a while. That's it for the afternoon report for Tuesday, the 31st of May, 2022. Don't forget to hit follow on the podcast and find Fear and Greed on LinkedIn, Twitter and Facebook. Join Michael Thompson and I tomorrow morning for Wednesday Fast 5 by Fear and Greed. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.